Hello, hello, hello. Are we live, YouTube? I am Ree from Mummy4 Does Disney. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about DAS for Walt Disney World. This is the Disability Access Service. I always get confused. Is it the System or Service? The Disability Access Service for people that struggle with tolerating long waits in queues because of a disability, and that's how Disney defines it. So I've had so many questions about DAS. I just thought I would jump on this live and answer as many as possible. I've been meaning to put together, like a proper video with all the graphics on the screens and everything. But as you guys know, we're heading to Disneyland Paris in 16 days, and I've not yet finished my Walt Disney World Florida vlog series, so I'm up against it time-wise. So I thought I would jump on this. I love having a chat with you guys anyway, so it's just a good opportunity to talk through, give you all the information I need to give you in a really quick, concise way, and also answer some questions. So hello everyone jumping on. Just give me a little I can hear you okay, so that I know it's all working and things. I never know if tech is my friend or not. It appears to be working, but who can tell? If someone can just let me know they can hear me, that would be amazing. So hello Mandy, Disney Iris, another Mandy, Danny, Heine, Leon, hello everybody, and everyone else jumping on as well. So we're going to start with just explaining, so DAS, just what we'll just refer to as, just for the quick way of describing it, DAS, rather than calling it Disability Access Service every time. We used it in Walt Disney World because two members of our party, so two of my children, have autism, so therefore they qualified because autism is a disability, which means that you do struggle for long queue times. Now, there are two ways you can register for DAS. There is the traditional, you just go into the park and register for DAS. You just go to guest services and do that. I can't give you loads and loads of information about that because that's not the way we did it. No, we actually did it the pre-registration method. Now, there is a slight caveat to this. The pre-registration method can only be done if your computer is recognised as being in the United States. So for those people that don't know a great deal about the interwebs, certain websites know where your computer is situated, where your IP address is coming from, and certain websites will look different depending which country your computer is viewing it from. So if you view the Walt Disney World website from a UK computer, it would be different than if you viewed it from an American computer. So in order to access all the information about the Disability Access Service, not just to register, but to actually read the information on the website, you're going to need to use a VPN, which is a virtual private network, and you just need to, I've put a link to the one that I use down in the description. So I get asked all the time, which one do I use? I finally managed to link it down in the description. So that's the one we used. And that means it's like a security thing as well. It's to stop hackers and people doing all sorts of naughty things on the internet. But it means you can position your computer as anywhere in the world. So some people do it to, I don't know, watch Netflix stuff that's on in America that you can't get here or whatever. So it can be used for lots of things. But basically, if you log into the VPN, which the details are all down in the description, which is how to do that. It's quite simple to set up. I thought it was quite scary, but it really is very straightforward. And then you just choose, so I just chose we're in Florida because I thought that made sense. I chose my computer to be in Florida. And then suddenly when you log on to the Disney World website, it looks completely different. So I'm going to show you a screen recording. I didn't want to do it kind of live in case technology failed me, so I'm going to show you a screen recording that I took. There we go. So this is where this was a screen recording taken when my computer even had a VPN. Now this information only became available when I was signed in through the VPN. When you just Google the disability stuff, because I actually emailed Disney before I realised this was the case and said to them, look, I can't find this information, your website's broken. I keep clicking through because I could find it on Google and I'd click through and it wouldn't appear. So this page that you're seeing here is only available when you use the VPN. So basically it explains on here, I'm just going to talk you through it, but you could pause the video later on if you want to read any of this. basically you can choose to access the DAS service by registering in the parks, like I already said, or you can pre-register online by using this VPN. So if you go through this website, it's got all the information on there how to do it. And then I can't physically scroll it because this is a screen recording, but you can see that you can register. And then once you've registered, which is really, really simple and straightforward to do, I'm going to explain to you how you do the registration process. Then you request a return time in the park, and then you get on the ride at the end of the return time. So it's not guaranteed instant access to the rides. Basically, say there's a ride with a 60-minute standby queue time. The standby queue is just the normal queue that you would go into. If there's a 60-minute standby queue time, at the time you book that ride, you go and do other things for 60 minutes other than the standing in the queue. So you'd go and use the toilets, eat, whatever. And then when that 60 minutes runs out, you can go and you can get on the ride in the lightning lane, which is the other lane, like the one that you can pay to go in, or you can use the disability access. So some of the rides have got a specific disability entrance, but most of them you just use the lightning lane, which is the one that is not the standby lane. It's just the quicker lane. So it's not instant access. You do have to wait, but it's so much easier because you can go and watch the parades. You can go and eat. If you've got children like mine, you can go to the toilet 11 billion times. So basically at the bottom of this page, then, if you're using the VPN, you just say, are you ready to chat with a cast member? You request, see there's a button there, request a live video, and then over that live video chat, that is where you would set up your disability access service. So you're not allowed to record the calls or anything. So I didn't do that, obviously, because that would be very naughty. So we're going to come back to just talking here for a second. So basically in that call, under Florida laws, they're not legally allowed to ask you for any proof of disability. So we found this really strange because whenever we've been to parks in the UK, we've done Legoland, Alton Towers, all that kind of thing, you've got to take certain proof of the disability. And I know we're about to go to Disneyland Paris, and we've got to take certain proof of disability. We've had to upload it in advance, and then we've got to physically take that proof with us to Disneyland Paris to sort all that out. I will talk about Disneyland Paris in more depth when we have actually done it, if anyone's interested in the disability system for that. But yeah, in a nutshell, it is different. I know one of the questions I've had quite a number of times is it different for all the different parks, or is it the same? It is different because the laws that go with each of the places obviously are unique to those areas. And I don't know if anyone can weigh in the comments. I would imagine California is different. The California Disneyland is different to Florida because obviously different states have very different laws in America. So in Florida, they're not legally allowed to ask you for the disability proof, but you have to have that a condition of the person that is applying for the DAS has to have something that qualifies for the DAS, if that makes sense. So the person that qualifies, so for me, it was two of my children at the time. They needed to come in. They had their photograph taken, so they just stood in front of the screen that we had as like a Zoom thing. Sometimes they ask you to swap devices. You just have to log in. So I think I was struggling to connect on my computer, and then we switched over to my phone, and it worked a bit better. I think we had audio but no visuals or something, and they need the visuals to see you so that they can take a photo. So they'd have the phone, you'd be talking to them on the phone, and then you just ask for the person who is having the disability access the DAS to stand in front of it, and then they just take a photo. So that way, when the person scans into the lightning lane, we'll get to that in a second, they can just prove that it is the right person. So they just take that photo on that video call, and then after that, they put you through to like a chat. So that's the only video bit. Then they put you through to a chat, and you pick 2 rides to pre-book per day. So you need to have booked your park days before you get on your DAS call, because obviously if you don't know which park you're going to be in, you don't know which rides you can pick. So the 2 rides you can pick are not the very special rides. They're not the most the most in demand rides. So basically that you can pick out of most of the rides, other than your kind of Remy, your Rise the Resistance, the very, the very top line, the premium rides that have always got bonkers high queue times, you're going to have to use a DAS in the park, and I'll explain all that in a second, in order to access those rides. So you pick 2 rides per day, and they just gave us times, and we kind of felt with those rides, if we got those times, then cool. If we didn't, we weren't going to stress too much about it. Now those rides are a little bit different because those rides are, and I'll show you like a screen recording of my phone in a second, I'll explain it a little bit better, but those rides are a 1 hour time slot. So for example, one day in Epcot, we'd have Frozen booked for between 10 and 11, and then Soarin' booked for between 2 and 3. So for those rides, we could show up between those windows or skip it. So if we were early for that window or late for that window, then we were not eligible to ride that ride under that pre-booked system. So that's the pre-booking. Then when you get into the park, your phone looks different. So if you're familiar with the Disney app, the Walt Disney World app, you must download the Walt Disney World app, whether you're using DAS or not, because it's where everything lives. So it's your park maps, it's your times for the parks, it's your booking your food, it's your, so that's the quick service for ordering your food and for picking up your food. It's for seeing if there are any tables available or looking at your reservations, and then you actually do a check-in. So your app's got everything, but your app looks slightly different when you buzz in. So we used, I'm going to show them in here, we used magic bands. So these were our magic bands for the park. They used to be free for hotel guests, but now you do have to pay for them. But I would say these things, worth their weight in gold. Honestly, our magic bands were amazing. You can use them to pay for things in the park. You can attach their credit card to them, or you can not bother. But the main thing we used them for was buzzing into the park. So they load your park tickets onto there, but then also buzzing in to your rides and things, into your lightning lanes. So when we buzz into the park using these, and as I understand it, if we didn't have these, they would have given us a card. So I kind of wish I'd had the card as well now, just as like a little keepsake. But we just had the magic bands. And because I'd ordered these, which again, with a VPN, you can pre-order your magic bands, but that's not available if you're outside, if your computer is based outside the US. Although thinking about it again, if I was to go again and I was going to buy different magic bands, I would just buy them in the parks because there are a lot more choice. Anyway, that's a by the by. So you're wearing your magic band, you buzz into the park to say, I've arrived in the park. As you buzz into the park, your phone looks different. I'm going to show you how your phone looks. So you can see here, this is my phone. You'll recognize all of that from the app already, but the DAS bit will only pop up once you have buzzed in to that park. Then these are all the rides. It's a bit fast, sorry, I've scrolled it. These are all the rides that are available, and this is how you book a ride. So you just click on the ride. You see if I book into that at the moment. So this was recorded at 4:15. That's the return time I get. Now this week internet issue, I did have to keep doing a few times. There is free internet in Walt Disney World. It's generally pretty good, but sometimes it'll drop out and you've got to go and log back into it and then get back into the app. So you do have to do that a few times, sometimes if it drops off. So as you can see from the top screen recording, this was 2:15. I'm trying to book for Mickey and Minnie. It's giving me a return time of 3:09. You click all the members of your party. So Ella was my registered guest. Click all the members of the party, and then it will confirm them. Now, all those members of the party have to be scanned into the park before you can book them on a DAS reservation. So once I think we went to Animal Kingdom, and my husband had taken Zara to the toilets just outside, and I buzzed through with the others. I was like, right, I'm going to buzz through and I'm going to book everyone in. But I realized I couldn't book them onto the ride till they'd gone out of the toilets and buzzed through the gates as well. And they were buzzed into Animal Kingdom. So every member of your party that wants to get on the ride needs to be buzzed into the park before you can actually sort out booking them onto a ride. So you can see we've got a DAS advanced selection here for Toy Story Mania. That was one of the ones we had pre-booked, and that was within a set time. So a lot of these rides, things like Figment had like a 5-10 minute wait. That was really a walk-on ride. So really what you can actually do, if it's only got a 5 or a 10 minute wait, it's kind of a walk-on ride anyway, as in it's literally the time it will take you to walk the queue. Then you're better off booking like a longer ride, like you can see here, Space Mountain or something like that. Or Little Mermaid was a really popular one, or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And the longer ones you want to book when you know you're going to be eating, watching parades, things like that. So in this one, I'm now booking, this was a separate screen recording, I'm booking The Little Mermaid. You can choose the registered guest. So I actually had 2 guests that could be the lead guest. It was either Bella or William could be the lead guest because both of them were eligible for DAS. And then you can choose who to book in. So the reason it was good to have both of them booked in for that DAS is because sometimes the boys and the girls split up. So sometimes William would be like the lead DAS person, especially in like Hollywood studios where the boys wanted to go and do Star Wars and the girls wanted to do anything but Star Wars. So then I would book William and the boys in to go and do like Smuggler's Run or something, and then the girls in to go and do Mickey and Minnie again because we love that one, something like that. So I'm just going to go to the questions because I know I've been babbling on to see if we've got anything I haven't covered yet that we need to answer. Is DAS different in each park? Yes, it is. We definitely know it's different in France and Florida. If anyone could weigh in about California, I'd be really interested to hear. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Julie. Hi, Michael. Hopefully see you on the Disney Dream. Yeah, anyone else booked on the Disney Dream next year? We are. I think if you saw a previous live or video or whatever I did, we announced that we are doing that. So are the pre-selection rides the same as the Genie Plus only rides? I've got to be honest, this is something else that people have asked me. How does it work alongside Genie Plus? We just used the DAS. We didn't use any of the Genie Plus because we felt that as long as we managed the DAS very well, then we didn't need to use the Genie Plus. We also had quite low expectations for the amount that we were going to get around each day. I know my children get very overwhelmed trying to do too much. We were given 14 days passes for the price of 7 when we booked direct through Disney. When I booked that in summer 21 to fly in January 2022, but I think they do offers like that quite frequently. So a lot of people were like, well, aren't you gonna have any rest days? So we didn't actually have any days where we didn't go to the parks at all. We did mostly half days. So my expectations of how much we were going to achieve each day were, not massively high. We were going to be very chilled and do whatever we can manage, but we did feel we managed to get around plenty just using the DAS without paying extra for Genie Plus. Okay, can you tell us more about how the chat with the cast member was? I'm worried about how much detail I need to give. Literally, they were the loveliest, most Disney cast members. They were just, hi, right, can you just, how are you today? And they were like, there was a lot of chat, to be honest, about trying to make sure the tech was working. It's like, can you see me? Can I see you? All this kind of stuff. So we had some hiccups with that. And then it was like, right, can you tell me the details of the person that's going to be registered for DAS? And then so I had the children in the other room. I called them in one at a time. They said, right, stand there for me, lovely, and just smile. They did, and then they could go. Then that was it. It was very, very brief. They're not allowed to ask questions because that's the law in Florida. So, just as long as you know that you are eligible for that. I know I've had another question on here. Where was it? I had another one about, right. Suggestion for someone waiting on an ASD assessment, but has had trip booked before the assessment is due to be finalised. I would say email Disney, but if you know that your child likely has autism and does struggle with cues, then I would imagine they're going to say that they qualify. But if you're feeling icky about any of it, if you want to say, does this qualify, just email Disney. Give them plenty of time because they take a little bit of time to reply via email, but just email Disney and just say, look, this is my situation. Do I qualify? If you want to volunteer that information for them, and then you've got something in black and white from them. If you're worried about, you don't want to like cheat or do it wrong or whatever. If you want to check your eligibility, then I'm sure they'll be more than happy to respond to just say, yeah, that's fine. They're not allowed to ask you, but I don't see any harm in you checking with them. Does this qualify? But I would say that that's absolutely fine. If you know your child is being assessed for autism, they wouldn't be on that pathway if they didn't have some sort of indicators. So chances are, if they do struggle, then I would say they're probably going to be eligible. Okay, so if you have more than one person in your party who has autism, well, they both registered as DAS guests. If so, can you choose which of your children can go on the ride? So it's up to 6 people, I believe, per booking. So for us, I had the 6 people on the app. If you can just, so it was just like this, like I was showing you in here. So I'm just gonna let this cycle through again. So basically when it got to the bit where, see if we can get through to the bit where I was showing you. Right, so if you can see here, you could choose the main lead registered guest, and that lead registered guest is the one that has to go on the ride and they have to buzz in first. So that's when they do the pictures. So if Bella's the first one in the booking, then in that case she would have to buzz in first. So she would have to scan her magic band on the little Mickey head. You go the do, you know, the thing you will have seen it in the vlogs. So if Bella's the lead DAS guest, she would have to sign in first. If William was the lead guest, he would have to sign in first. And I just tried to alternate it, so there was no arguing. If I wasn't splitting it up to go on separate rides. So if you have more than one person in your party that has autism, it depends how big your party is. If you're under 6, you've just got to, as long as the person who registers is eligible for DAS and registered for DAS is riding, then those other people can go. I would register both people if there are 2 people in your party, in case for whatever reason, like that person who is eligible for the DAS needs a break or doesn't want to do that ride or whatever, then you can still use, the other person with DAS can still use the DAS and the other people can go with them. Whereas if you only bother to register one, then obviously it doesn't give you the option to use it for the other person that does need it if the first person isn't going. Am I making any sense? No, I hope I'm making sense anyway. Can you get DAS with autism? Yes. Short answer, yes. Can adults and children have DAS with autism? Is a question I've had from Instagram. Yes. Aid and Lisa do Disney. Hi. We're traveling as a group of 9 with my sister and her family. She has 2 kids with autism and she's also eligible. Would we have 2 groups in order for us all to ride together? Yes, I believe so. I'm not sure how it would work when you've got 2 groups, because obviously with ours, it was all within my app, so I could register people. I believe my husband could as well, although he generally didn't. So what I would do is, email does need to check if you're stuck, but register all the people that are eligible, register them, because then technically they could be in 3 groups, couldn't they? And then you've got everyone covered. So you'd have to split it into at least 2 groups in order to book a ride. But then if you've got that many people going, then chances are some people, not everyone's going to want to do every ride anyway, are they? So it probably works to break it up into smaller groups anyway. So I hope that helps. But yes, it will have to be broken up into smaller groups, even if you book it. But as long as if you book at the same time, you can all get on at the same time. I'm not sure how it will work with pre-booking the advanced selections. If you have a group of 9, if you could request the same times, but definitely the ones you book when you get into the park, you just book them at the same time, line up the phones and book them at the same time. Chloe says, hi, I just want to say my family love your vlogs. Oh, thank you, Chloe. Our family has a few disabilities. Autism is one of them. We have watched your vlogs to feel more confident, not so anxious about our trip in August. Oh, that's really lovely. That's kind of what I want from the vlogs. I want a few things. I want to share the magic. So even if you're never planning to go to Disney, I want you to be able to watch them and just feel the magic coming through the screen. I want to make everyone feel like they're there with us so they can experience it. Because I think sometimes you watch a video and, you feel like you're there, and other times you can't picture things and things feel a bit disconnected. So I try and include as much information and as much, it's called B-roll basically. So it's not just the bit where it's just all my face all the time. It's what's going on around you, just to kind of give everyone the sense of where things are and A to B and things. And then I do try and also include all the extra information in the screen, which you see popping up in pink boxes. And the purpose of that is just as a mum, I want to know, how long does it take to get from here to here? Will I need to feed my children in the meantime? How long is that ride? Will they need a wee? Probably. They'll probably need a wee, spoiler alert. So I just try and include all the information that I want to know, that I feel would help my children, and especially my children with autism that really need to be prepared for things. I know before we go anywhere, we watch a lot of vlogs. We watch a lot of other people's vlogs, and that really helps my children. They're not the kind of children that would do well with just surprise, we're going somewhere you've never heard of before. They like to be prepared. They like to know what's going on, and then they just enjoy it a lot better. So if our vlog can do that for other people, then that makes me really, really happy. What were we even talking about? Okay, Rachel, am I allowed to tell them my child's diagnosis, or do they prefer you not to? and just say why you can't queue. I don't think it's you're not allowed to. It's just they're not allowed to ask you. I mean, if you can discuss it with them, I believe, but they'd probably just say that we don't need that information because they're not legally required to. No, they're not legally allowed to ask you. So it's like a privacy thing in Florida, as I understand it. We're going in August too. Chloe, hope you have a lovely time. There we go. It's just a chat between everyone in the comments. Okay. I'm just having a quick drink because I am gassing and making my throat dry. Okay, so what else do I need to cover? I got all my little notes down here. Right. So, right. Some tips I wanted to share. I want to share some tips tonight. So, my main tip is to maximize your DAS, you need to think of a few things. So you need to book those advanced reservations, just thinking, right, when are we going to eat? So like, don't book a reservation when you're going to want to eat. So really your quick service, you can kind of wiggle that around, can't you? But you need to make sure that your pre-booked dining reservations don't clash with your pre-booked food reservations. So that's something that's really important to consider. It's really important then to consider the second you buzz into that park, you need to get on the app and you need to book your first reservation, because that way, while you're like dawdling down Main Street and you're going to the toilet again and you're shopping or going to get some food or whatever, then that counter is counting down to your first ride. Then when you buzz in, so you've got your little magic band on. Oh, I miss my magic band. By the way, why can't we have magic bands in Disneyland Paris? It makes me kind of sad. So Disneyland Paris, if you're watching, I mean, you're not. But can we please have magic bands in Disneyland Paris? Because they don't have them there apparently, and we're going to have to use. I've got our lanyards that we've dug out from the cruise. So we've got lanyards and lanyard holders. Which again, if you don't want to use magic bands, you could use something like that in Walt Disney World, and just put your passes in there and scan with that. But a magic band is easier. So when you scan in with your magic band to a ride, you sometimes have to scan twice. So some rides, you just scan in and then you're good to go. Some rides, like I'm thinking like Frozen Ever After or whatever, you scan once and then you walk through the queue and then you scan again. Now, when you've scanned the final time for that ride, you need to get back on your app and you need to be booking your next reservation. The same if you're using Genie Plus. As soon as you've done the final scan on that ride, and you can always ask, like, are there any more scans in this queue, or is this the only one? So ask your cast member when they're there. As soon as you've done that final scan, get booking, because that way your timer is ticking down while you're on a ride. So sometimes by the time you've done a ride and walked to the next ride, your arrival time is then, you've kind of used up that standby queue time just doing the ride and dawdling over to the next one. So it's definitely worth doing that. I'm just going to point out something else about magic bands, which it took us until episode not sure what in Hollywood Studios. We're sitting there on the floor in Hollywood Studios waiting for a cavalcade. And this really nice cast member comes up and goes, you can pull that grey bit off, don't you? Basically, I've got little wrists and so the children. So the magic bands, we were kind of wrapping them around, and my wrists are small. Zara's wrists are half this size. But it's really awkward. It's like they're quite big and they kind of wrap. Can you see that's like wrapped round and round my wrist? And they were like awkward to put on. If you didn't pop them in properly, they kind of just pinged off, especially Zara's wrists, which are baby size wrists. So he said, you do realise, I'm not going to do it now, but you can look at that Hollywood Studios vlog to see it. If you pull this bit, just give it a tug, that bit all peels off. You see all the grey bit peels off just to make it that size. So that size fits my wrist and the children's wrists without wrapping around 12 times. So if you get magic bands and you've got wrists that are, tiddly, pull the grey bit off. It's just so much easier. Okay, right. Great advice. Is it the same in Disneyland? Disneyland Paris is different. Now, Disneyland Paris, like I said, I will talk about this more when we've actually done it. But so far, I've done the pre-registration bit where you go onto the Disneyland Paris website and you pre-register, and then you have to take the forms of the proof. You don't send the proof on the website. They haven't asked for the proof on the website. You take the forms with you to sort it out in the park. So I'll report back when we've done that. It's not called DAS over there. It's called Priority Access. And that information you can find without having to use a VPN. So that's a bit easier to hold, to sort out. Jen Davis says, it's HIPAA. Oh, I know all about HIPAA from Grey's Anatomy. So is that not just a Florida thing then? Is that a whole of America thing? HIPAA is the Hippocratic oath, isn't it? That's like doctors aren't allowed to talk about doctor-patient confidentiality thing. If anyone else hasn't seen Grey's Anatomy yet, it's all on Disney+. Go binge the whole thing. I'm basically a fully qualified surgeon now. I've seen so much of it. Right, okay, it's HIPAA. Very interesting. Thank you for that, Jen. Right, might have missed it, but what proof do you need? They're not allowed to ask for proof. Penny Pink 8662. You just have to say, I qualify for it, and then you go kind of through. Can you use DAS for dining reservations? Not as far as I'm aware, no. You can't choose dining. The dining reservations were a separate thing. Right, okay, just found out I broke my foot, I have to be in crutches for my birthday, so you've made my day. Yeah, you're pretty much going to qualify, aren't you? There's not going to be any arguing with that. Can you use the Apple Watch instead of a Magic Band? I believe you can, but I didn't know about that when we ordered our Magic Bands. And to be honest, for me, and this is probably quite a me-specific problem, but I was holding my massive camera, which I can't show you now because but we're going to use this light and pretend this light is. So I'm like holding this big chunky camera and stuff and trying to film and trying to deal with my sleeves. So just having one less thing to deal with for me was really worth it. If you have your two hands free like normal people, then actually probably using your Apple Watch might be an option. But I've got to be honest, we didn't even try, so I can't really comment on that. So perhaps someone else can weigh in on whether they use their Apple Watch. But I didn't actually bother even attempting that. I had a Magic Band, and for me that was really, really helpful between holding the camera, holding all the bags, like trying to keep hold of all the millions of children and stuff. It was really, really good. It was just so much easier than fussing for like a card or a thing around your neck, and the children just less likely to lose them. And because every person in the party must buzz in. So the other thing that's really worth knowing, because we had this problem a couple of times. So a couple of times, my husband, who's not as into rides as we are, decided, right, I'm not doing this ride. I'm like, you take the children on the ride, I'm going to go and get coffee. So I was like, that's fine. But what we didn't realise is that once you've scanned in, it kind of clears the person off that ride. So say we booked into Frozen or something. And then I went to book everyone into Test Track because he did want to do Test Track. It wouldn't let me book him into Test Track because he was still booked onto Frozen. So then he either had to physically go to Frozen and scan in. You have to cancel it off on the app, but it didn't always let me do that. It let me cancel it off sometimes, but sometimes that was a bit glitchy. But so sometimes we had to physically go to guest services to get it cancelled off, because as my husband wasn't the one with the DAS, he couldn't sign in sometimes because he couldn't scan in first, but we'd already scanned in, so it was a little bit complicated. So we did have to go to guest services once or twice to kind of cancel it off. Remember, if you're park hopping, you can only do a DAS reservation. So say we're in Epcot and you're going to park hop to Hollywood Studios, you can get into Epcot, book your DAS in Epcot, and it's only when you then get into Hollywood Studios you can book your Hollywood Studios ones. But make sure you've cancelled off any reservations from Epcot before you get to Hollywood Studios, so that you don't just run into glitchy errors and waste time having to fuss around at guest services. Christoph saying, thrilled that you're planning to come and stay and come to Disneyland Paris. Yes, 16 days. We'll be there in 16 days. It's very, very exciting. Right, I'm going to have a look through these questions. I think we've covered all the questions in the comments. Did you use DAS and Parent Swap at all? If so, how did that work? No, we didn't use DAS and Parent Swap because the only rides Zara wasn't allowed to go on was Space Mountain. She was too short for Space Mountain, and she was too scared for Tower of Terror. And my husband does not do roller coasters. He's like, nope, not doing it, don't like them. So he had no desire to go on those rides. So we didn't do any Parent Swap because he was more than happy to stay off the scary ones. He did go on Mine Train, and that was like as bad. Like that was too much. He didn't even want to do Thunder Mountain. So yeah, right. Just a tip for Disneyland Paris: get a plastic holder for the green pass you get for the Disability Access Pass in Paris. That way you can hang it around your neck and save it getting damaged. Cool. Do you mean one like this? Like that for the Disneyland Paris? Is this kind of what we mean? These are what I've got. Because the other thing, of course, is we are getting annual passes. So as I understand it, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, because we'll get annual passes, our, not DAS, priority access in Disneyland Paris will be attached to our annual passes. So we can scan our annual passes, is how I understand it. But this is why, like, I really shouldn't talk about it because I'm not sure what I'm talking about until we've actually been and sorted it out. It's double the size, right? Okay, so we need bigger things than that, but that should be the right size for our annual passes. I'm hoping, like from the pictures I've seen, it should be, because they're like credit card sized. So when you set up DAS, did it take long to join the chat? I've heard it taking hours. Really enjoying your vlogs. Oh, thank you, Sarah. I'm glad you're enjoying them. It did take a little while. What I would suggest doing is just kind of set it up and just kind of, don't be like, right, I'm sitting here waiting for it. Just set it up on an iPad or a phone or something and just like think, right, I'm just going to watch TV. Maybe you could watch Grey's Anatomy on Disney+. I tell you what you should watch, guys. If you're going to Walt Disney World, do not leave the country to go to Walt Disney World till you've seen behind the attraction. I talked about this in a few vlogs, but it's just really fascinating insights into quite a lot of the rides. Like how Walt's vision was transformed into reality. So there's one about Jungle Cruise, Star Tours, Space Mountain. It's fantastic. It's just really, really great. So yeah, make sure you have a look at that. It's really, really good. So stick some Disney Plus on, get your chat pending thing on, you know, make sure you keep an eye on it, but just think, right, I'm gonna sit and chill while I wait for that, and don't stress about it too much. And then, you know, the time will fly. So sometimes there can be a bit of wait to join the chat, but it's just, honestly, it's worth its weight in gold, because it's a really, really good system. And it meant that we were able to experience the parks, and it was not because my children are very, very high functioning, and you wouldn't just like instantly know they have autism to like, I don't know, you can't tell by just looking at someone. But I think what I mean is people are often surprised to learn that my children have autism. But obviously what you don't see, because you don't see behind the scenes, you don't see what's going on behind closed doors, meltdowns and things. So I know that we would not have been able to do a holiday like this without the DAS system. And we've, you know, hand on heart, I thought it was fantastic. So if there is a little bit of a wait to set that up, I personally think it's well worth it. So yeah, anyway, what else have we got? Here we go. As an annual pass holder, just let you know, we French and Europeans use Premier Access, not Genie Plus. Okay, there you go. That's good to know. Really similar. I prefer Disneyland Paris because it has better attractions. Interesting. I'm actually really looking forward to experiencing Disneyland Paris again. The last time I was there, I was 15. And I think I went for 2 days with a friend. It was just Euro Disney back then. It didn't have the second park, the Walt Disney Studios park. The children have never been. Obviously, it was a very long time ago that I was there, very, very long time ago. I'm really looking forward to doing some like comparisons and things. So there'll be a whole vlog series. Yeah, in fact, let's give you a content update while we're sitting here and having a chat. So we are up to, let's see what we're up to. Yes, last night's vlog went out. If you haven't seen last night's vlog, let me know in the chat actually if you're up to date with the vlog series for Walt Disney World so far. Last night's vlog was Magic Kingdom. Then Wednesday, we are doing the last day in Epcot, and we ask all the children for their favourite rides, first choice and second choice, and we get around as many as possible. Then we do our first park hop, which was an interesting experience, over to Hollywood Studios, and the Hollywood Studios vlog then is on Sunday. And then the following week, Wednesday and Sunday, it's the last day in Magic Kingdom, which is super emotional, and then the last evening in Magic Kingdom. Then the following week after that is Travel Day Home. Then I've got a Walt Disney World Q&A where you guys sent in loads of questions. I asked the children for all of their answers. So that is a really sweet video. So yeah, that really excited to share that with you. And then we're on to, we've got an everything you need to do before Disneyland Paris video that I've written the script for, but I haven't filmed. It will be done. It will be done within the next 16 days. I have to get all this done. Then I've got the what we're wearing to Disneyland Paris, which is filmed but not edited, and the pack with me for Disneyland Paris, which is part filmed because I've not finished packing yet. And then the Disneyland Paris vlogs will start, which will be second-ish week of June. The Disneyland Paris vlogs start, and then when that vlog series has finished, then I will be doing like comparison videos, comparing the different parks, tips videos, just, you know, all the stuff I just haven't had time to do because I've been too busy editing vlogs, but all the videos, like all the things I wish I'd done differently, all tips about the cruise, best places to eat, things I'd avoid, things, you know, I've got so many videos I want to do, but so all of that will be after that vlog series. Now I have got a question I would love for you to answer for me in the comments. If you're still watching, I really value your opinion on this. So if you saw my Disney Cruise vlog series from last year, obviously there'll be another cruise vlog series next year, but if you saw my Disney Cruise vlog series last year and the Walt Disney World vlog series from this year, you'll know that each of the vlogs, in order to keep it around the 30-40 minutes mark, is half a day, and then the second half of the day falls into another vlog. Now, I've been thinking about, because some people were like, yes, it's a perfect length for you, keep doing that, I love it. And other people are like, oh, I prefer a whole day, it's not long enough. Now, the reason I do them in shorter chunks, because you can binge them in a playlist and then it doesn't really make a difference how long they are. But I figure if they're longer, some people might not have time to watch the whole thing. So do you like really long vlogs? Like they'll be over an hour, they'll be between an hour and a half if it's a whole day, because I film so much and I try to cram so much information into it. Or do you prefer like the 30-40 minute vlogs, and that's a half a day? And they'll be every Sunday. I won't be able to put 2 out a week because it has been breaking me putting 2 of them out a week, because you probably can't tell from just watching them, but they take a really long time. They take much longer to edit than my normal videos, because there's a lot of footage, and you get my husband going, are you filming the castle again? I take a lot of clips and things. So I actually came home with over 1 terabyte of footage from Florida. That's a lot. So yeah, I just really, I've been going back and forth. I've been talking to some of my Disney friends over on Insta today about this. Hi Jade, if you're watching, from Mummy's Waiting for a Disney Kind of Day. Yeah, do I just go back and forth between my vlogs need to be longer, I need to just bite the bullet, but because at the moment, half of the vlogs as it stands take me about a day to edit, just one, as in for half a day, because that's how much editing they take. And I'm pretty quick with editing, because obviously I've had my main channel for a few years now. So do I bite the bullet and just make them longer? Or do I stick with the current format? I say because it's working, but then would it work better? I don't know. So maybe I experiment with it for this vlog series for longer ones. I don't know. I just love to hear your opinions in the comments. Yeah, Dan's just joined us. Hey Dan, what's your opinion on it, Dan? How long should Disney vlogs be? We're just debating. I can't decide whether Dan's a fellow Disney vlogger. I normally do these half-day vlogs. It has made the series really long, that's the only thing. These half-day vlogs, just because I feel they're more digestible, and because they take such a long time to edit, I feel they are manageable for me to do as well. 30-40 minutes. See a lot of people go in 30-40 minutes, which suggests I should stick with the current format, because I get DMs, and the problem is you can't please everyone. You get DMs going, I wish they were longer, you know, they need to be over an hour. I know like lots of other Disney vloggers do a lot longer vlogs, but then everyone has a different style of editing, don't they? And my style, unfortunately, is a bit work heavy. It's a bit labor intensive. Julia's saying your vlogs are brilliant, thank you. Whichever is easy will be brilliant. That's really kind, thank you. I'm really glad you're enjoying them. It means a lot, really means a lot. Right, have we got any other DAS questions that I haven't covered? Michelle's saying, keep them shorter, Reese, it makes me look forward to the next one more. Oh, that's lovely. Danny says, what you're doing is working to keep them the same, I would say. Yeah, you're probably right. I think I'm too much in my own head. I'm just too much in my own head. By the way, this was sent to me. Just gonna show you. How cool is this? Link below, hashtag ad gifted, whatever. But yeah, just because I know I'll get asked about that. How cool is that? It was in my reel today. One of my reels over on the grid. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. Has anyone got any other questions that I haven't covered? So is there anything I've forgotten? And are you happy with this, having answered all the questions? Or when I get back, would you like a more concise, less waffly, rabbity video? Like just delivering the information, because I could probably do all of this in about 6 minutes, and we've been here for 45 minutes. But it's been nice to chat, isn't it? I really enjoy chatting with you all. I am going to definitely be doing some more lives. If you're not following me over on you don't follow on YouTube, you subscribe, don't you? If you're not subscribed to my main channel, I will be doing a live on Tuesday, as in a week tomorrow, on my main channel, which I think will just be a general Q&A. Julia, sorry to join late. Did you touch on the DAS process using a VPN to register ahead? Yes, I did. If you just watch that on replay, then the VPN is linked below. Julia, only heard some of this live. Do you have to show proof? No, you don't have to. They're not legally allowed to ask you. Someone said it's because of HIPAA. And then let's see. Okay, obviously no DAS for flights. Right, any tips for flights? Show the children my travel day vlogs. It's all about the plane. Snacks. We flew with British Airways. In all fairness, they were brilliant. Lots of activities. Sweets. for something for them to suck on for when their ears are popping, for the pressure change. And then, yeah, I think, in fact, didn't I do a video? I can't remember if I did it on my Disney channel or my main channel about tips for flying long haul with children. I think I did. If you type in mummy of 4 flight tips or aeroplane tips or something on YouTube, I can't remember which channel it's on. I have a feeling it's on my main channel. Yeah, have a feeling it's on my main channel, but I've definitely done a video on that, like almost definitely. I mean, I may have dropped it, but I'm pretty sure I've done a video on that since we got back. How long did you wait for someone to come online to pre-register for DAS interview? Oh, I think it was about 15-20 minutes when we did it. I felt like I spent a long time doing stuff that day because we did that. You have the video chat, and then you do the what's it called? Typing chat, text chat. Yeah. So I felt like I spent a lot of time doing that because I also spent time doing all the other stuff, all the other compliance stuff. We're sorting out verify and all that stuff. Now, I did a video, which it's well worth watching. 1 or 2 of the things have changed, but I kind of flag up in the video which things are more likely to change. But I did a video and a blog post, which is everything you need to do before going to Florida. So check that video out. It's got everything in there that you're going to need. Danny says, what on earth? What on earth? What? I don't know. Contact the airport about special assistance. Yes. The other thing is you can board earlier when it's quieter. If you've got small children or additional needs. Obviously, we had both. So they did actually let us board first before it got kind of chaotic. You did. I watched it on your Disney channel. Oh, good. I did do a video and it was on my Disney channel, apparently. Thank you, Kylie. You know better than I do. Can you pre-register for DAS if you're an adult? Yes, you can, Sammy Beth Green. You absolutely can. So I am going to sign off now. Thank you so much for joining me, you wonderful people. Mwah. See you guys soon. Bye.